You're listening to the Feed Your Wild podcast, a conscious lifestyle show about all things nourishing for your body, mind, and soul. I'm Vanessa Rodriguez, and join me for candid conversations with changemakers, exploring health and wellness, food as medicine, intuition and spirituality, and nature-based practices that will transform your health and feed all parts of your wild self. Hey fam, welcome back to another episode of Feed Your Wild. I'm your host, Vanessa Rodriguez, your intuitive nourishment guide today, and today is quite an auspicious day. 8/8, the Lion's Gate, August 8th. There's a lot to say about today's date. And I am on an impromptu walkie-talkie where I'm walking with my baby Santos right here. He's listening in to our chat as I carry him and we walk in the forest and our sweet little neighborhood and take a look at the nearby cows that were just brought over and all of the other beautiful, more than human kin that we have surrounding us. We were visited just now by a sweet hummingbird. It was very beautiful. Before we get into the meat of today's episode, I want to provide a gentle reminder that tomorrow I am hosting a private live training for those of you who have applied to the Wildly Intuitive Practitioner Pathway program. The Wildly Intuitive Practitioner Pathway is a 6-month intuitive healing mentorship and practitioner mastermind. So we will be journeying together, going into the realms of the Akasha, doing deep discovery work, uncovering blocks and beliefs, and bringing deep healing to these areas that are preventing us from fully stepping into our fullest expression as intuitive healer. Perhaps you're just starting off on the intuitive healing path. Maybe you have been practicing, you're a seasoned practitioner, but you're working in realms that are more conventional or traditional and not utilizing all of your gifts. Or you have been incorporating intuitive healing into your work and practice in creative ways, and you are wanting to expand upon that and be plugged into this community coven of incredible healers. I invite you to apply. We are starting August 16th together, this journey, and tomorrow I am hosting a private live training for those who have applied to the Wildly Intuitive Practitioner Pathway and have been accepted. And please know that I truly am accepting those that I really do feel like are a fit and this would be supportive for you. I'm not in the business of trying to persuade anybody to do something that is not aligned, that is something that they don't actually want to do, or that I don't think it's a good fit. So I will be honest with you. And this private training is a bit of a precursor to our program. And in it, we'll be talking about how to create a transformative intuitive healing practice you love. So if you feel like it is calling to you that this is the time, and it is a highly auspicious time, which we will get into today, then I encourage you to apply. You can go to wildlyrooted.com/apply. And yeah, so let's get into it. First of all, I just have to say, I'm literally recording this the morning of August 8th, 8/8. I don't usually do that because if anybody here is familiar with creations of podcasts, it takes time to edit and put it out, and along with all the other things like the website and writing up the descriptions and just like all of the back end admin work that is required for episodes. So I rarely, I think maybe there was one other time where I recorded day of and put it out. And so why am I doing this today? Well, I hadn't planned on it. I woke up and my guides told me that I needed to do a Lionsgate channeling. So I was still in bed with my baby, and I reached for my phone and just literally started channeling and putting it into the phone. And then they told me that I was going to make a podcast episode to get out there and go on our little walk once again. So here I am, and I feel grateful for the direction and sort of the not so much motivation, because I feel like there's no lack of motivation for me with this work. It literally is just sort of what I do, the expression of a big part of who I am. But I appreciate this sense and feeling of having a team, so to speak, and having this connection, this deep connection with my guides, with God, and feeling as though I'm not alone. I'm not alone in this, and nobody is. Nobody's alone. But it wasn't until I really began to consciously and directly communicate with my guides and really open up that level of communication that was like a back and forth. It was no longer just, hey guys, tell me what to do. It was a conversation, and it's a daily conversation and practice through many modalities, prayer being a big piece of that. And so I just wanted to speak into that because I felt that my experience with this is also integral and a big part of what I am putting out, what I am expressing, that it is not just for me. And just as when you are receiving, it is not just for you, it's you and your allness and your wholeness and your spiritual team, and that we're all in this together, the seen and unseen realms. We're working together, and it's really important to not just cultivate that awareness, but to intentionally, with your intention in your heart, build a relationship and a way of communicating that suits you, that feels good for you, of communing with your own guides and your spiritual team. And, for some of us, it might be more connection with nature, and the nature spirits and your guides through those more earth connected realms. It could be, for others, it might be our galactic family, so beyond Earth, yet like rooted in the Earth. For others, it might come in the form of animals and animal spirits and communication. There's so many different ways to begin to connect with spirit, with God, and with your team. So I just wanted to say that at the outset as we dive into today's episode. Before we dive into the Akashic channeling that came through today, I just wanted to set the stage for what today is about. Like, what are the energies surrounding today? And for those who are not familiar with Lionsgate, just sort of kind of give a little bit of a preamble and letting you know all of these supportive energies that are available to us right now. So, we have Sirius. Sirius is a star. It's also known as the spiritual sun. And the alignment with Sirius is what we call the Lion's Gate. So the Lion's Gate portal runs from about July 28th to August 12th. And the portal is created when that star, Sirius, reappears in the sky, and it turbocharges our manifestations and our intentions. Now, Sirius is the brightest star in the sky. It's 2 times larger than our own sun. And every year around this time, Sirius's appearance is magnified, and we connect Sirius with our spiritual center, our spiritual sun. So in that way, our spiritual power and manifestation power is also amplified and magnified. Now, why is the 8th highlighted as important? Well, there's the numerology aspect of it. 8-8 is considered highly auspicious, and it's also the day that Sirius aligns with the sun. Even though we may not see Sirius with our own eyes, that connection with our own sun and the spiritual sun is important. In ancient Egypt, Sirius was an important star. It became visible every year around the same time, as mentioned, and it coincided with the flooding of the Nile yearly. So this was a really, really powerful time for those living in that area, as the farming season would basically begin again, because it would be flooded with the waters and the soil would become fertile. And so it was considered a highly blessed time, a time of fertility and abundance and renewal. In modern times, we can see this time the Lion's Gate portal as a gateway to really bring that same level of fertility and blessings to our intentions and our prayers. The possibilities are watered. The seeds are already there. They were already planted. And this time is really about watering and nourishing and fertilizing the soil and the medium in which our seeds have been planted and have possibly sprouted already and are growing. This is also, of course, during the lovely Leo season, which I've talked about in previous episodes. And Leo, of course, in connection with the sun and with fire, it can be helpful to look at where Leo falls in your chart. So astrologically speaking, if you get your natal chart out or you're familiar with it already, you can locate where Leo sits in your chart by knowing your rising sign and then going from there. So if you don't, you can easily find one you can literally just Google how to look up Leo in my chart or how to get a natal chart. You can go to astro.com to do that. But once you know your rising sign, then you'll be able to see which house Leo is sitting in. Wherever Leo sits in our chart, in that house, in that area, it's basically like saying that is the place where we have this high potential for shining our brightest, right? Our inner sun, for being seen, for our gifts and our light, to achieve high levels in this area, or that you are a natural leader in this area. It can show where we might express or exude the most power in the sense of our inner power and grace and fierceness. But in the sense of Leo, this fierceness that's connected to compassion and gentleness, a gentle heart. Of course, there are always the heavier, darker, shadowy sides of expressions of these gifts. If they're in deficiency or taken and utilized in a way that is not for your highest good or the greater good. And so we have to be careful here looking at what might be the shadow side of this sign and in this particular area of the chart. So this could look like maybe somebody being prideful, arrogant, kind of showing up in a way that could take advantage of others, even aggression in pursuit of power. And we've all seen this before in history, of course. You might have experienced this from others in your own life, and maybe you have experienced this on various levels within your own life experience, you expressing these shadowy bits. I know that I have. I think it's important to really look at these aspects of ourselves and various degrees of expression, and to be really, really honest, because I think that we can hold a lot of blind spots. And we may not think that we're showing up in a certain way. Now, of course, there's a difference between maybe how someone interprets it based off of their own judgments or beliefs, right? You are not responsible for how people receive you or perceive you. That's not your business. But you are responsible for your energy, how you show up, how you express yourself and your gifts. And that's what I'm talking about, really looking at that. I'll give you a little example. So if your rising sign is Sagittarius, then Leo is in your 9th house. So this is the house of spiritual community and spirituality, of gurus, of blessings, your belief systems, of the Father, also foreign travel. This is my rising sign. I'm Sagittarius. So my Leo is in this house. And, I feel like now I have come into a deeper understanding of what this means and looks like for me. Previously, I did not know, so if you're in a place where you're like, well, I don't even know how to show up in these spaces or how that expresses itself in my life experience just yet, give yourself some time and space. It might express in a way that is unique to you and surprising to you. It may come out in the future in later years. So just being patient and being with it and not holding any judgments or attachments even to what this should or might look like. Now, Leo is also, of course, connected to the Strength card in the tarot. And the traditional image of the Strength card is an image of a woman with a lion. She's petting the lion. And she has an infinity sign above her crown. Now, this is the quintessential, taming of the wild beast, but I don't think it's in that sense of taking one's freedom or sovereignty from a wild being. That's not what this is about. This is more about coming into compassionate, sweet, gentle relationship with the powerful wild that lies within you and that surrounds you, and working with it together in relationship with love. Now, the infinity symbol above her head also shows the connection to God, divine, spirit, and the expression of this that is beyond linear time. Right? So when we talk about even the Akashic records, the records hold the information that is available to us beyond linear time. It is in divine time, no time and all time. And that's what this infinity sign and this connection to Strength card, that's how I interpret it. And I also see it as above, so below, as within, so without, this hermetic saying, this alchemical saying. So when we interpret it in that way, our body on all levels is a microcosm of the external experience, including the world and the greater cosmos. So in this way, our inner sun reflects this magnification, leading to the amplification of our vitality, our personal power, our will, our love. So we could say that we have two inner suns. We have our heart, which Leo very much connected to the heart, and we have our solar plexus, our gut. This fiery combination makes for that merging of the heart-gut power. So igniting our heart's desires and bringing them out into this world, into the manifested world with passion and integrity. These are our places of our inner radiance, our confidence, and our sense of eco-self, as well as intuition, gut intuition, personal will and power, as I'd mentioned, and the heart as a portal. So these areas are areas of transformation and transmutation. And going through the Lion's Gate is to awaken one's powers of transformation and transmutation and fully embodying your gifts and purpose with confidence and compassion, and gentle fierceness. So it's prime time for you to burn away what's keeping you back from shining your inner sun, and to support these important centers as well, our heart and our gut, so that you have the knowing, that deep knowing, that confidence, vitality, and the literal power and fire to bring your gifts forward out into the world. With that, I'm going to go into our reading. This Akashic reading that I channeled was delivered to me early this morning and literally entered it in my little notes app to share with you all today. So here we go with our Lion's Gate Akashic Soul Nourishment channeling. The seeker already knows that path, walking into the lion's den, a solar portal of love and transitions. The time has come to discover one's kingdom within, the kingdom of beauty and love and miraculous happenings, alive, breathing in concert with the living world, with conscious breath of fire, imbuing the spirit with more clarity and renewal, sloughing off the aches of the old and ushering in the smooth skins of hope and ecstasy, the kind that grounds your feet deep into the womb of this earth being and raises you high to the ancient skies of your star kin. These times were made for paradoxical existing, living the totality of the cosmos in your every breath. It is simple, really. The unfurling happens just under your feet, felt but unheard and unseen. Like a tidal wave carrying recycled bits of everything, all recognizable by a glance, as if peering into a hall of mirrors and discovering the truest reflection is the one that peers back with the eyes of an old sage, the you that has turned back to say, "You knew all along, beloved one." The question is the answer. The answer is made known through your shedding of the unreal. To reveal, let go. Let go of the story that contains you. Let go of the charge accumulated through lifetimes of wants and have-nots. Let go of the blades that you wield that keep your hands and heart occupied. Surrender to your truest self, wholly, wholly, and completely. Featured in your skin is the map of the journey, growing and breathing and shedding and evolving with you, aligned with the stars, birthed with the earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. The light is all that is left. It was really all there ever was. The rest, as they say, is his story. Once again, at the lion's den, ready or not to be bathed in the light codes that inform your form. Open wide. Say, Alleluia. Receive the holy covenant of grace and redemption as you meet yourself once again. And there you have it with our Akashic reading today. There's a lot in there, and I know that there's even some terms that might catch your attention or that you might feel judgment around or with. And I want to just say that all these readings are for you and interpreted by you. So while there is much here on the collective level, I really invite you to sit with each line, with each word that stands out for you, that reverberates still, that resonates, and maybe doesn't resonate. The ones that stick out in the prairie of wildflowers. Which of these wildflowers is standing out for you, these words? And I want you to be with it, contemplate it, and meditate on it. Maybe do some research of your own, whether that's spiritual research or research with your fingers walking through pages of books. Once again, this is for you. This is your message, and take the bits that currently resonate with you and to leave the rest, perhaps for another day. All right, my loves. So I'm heading back to upload this for you so you actually get it today. And thank you once again for walking with us and receiving this channeling and this message. Once again, a gentle reminder, if you are feeling the call and you're curious about the Wildly Intuitive Practitioner Pathway, and you're feeling like this is the time, this is an incredibly auspicious time to be centering your focus and attention on the expression of these gifts, if this is in your life's path and calling, I really, truly, and compassionately invite you to apply. With this application, if it is a good fit, and I am very serious about aligning with people that this is a good fit for, and I'm going to be honest with you, if it is not, it's not my intention to try to persuade anybody into this. This is purely a container and chariot that is being co-created with you by all of us, our seen and unseen family, to support you in your journey. And if it's not the right fit or not the right time, then that's all perfect. So if you feel that it could be, and there's that potential, then I do invite you to apply. And if it is a good fit, then I'll send you that acceptance note along with a link and invitation to tomorrow's private live training on how to create a transformative, intuitive healing practice you love. There is still time, so please apply even if you feel that it might be too late. I would love to connect with you on the other side. All right, my dears, with that, I'm sending you all the Lionsgate portal blessings and Leo fire love energy this week and beyond.